It's certainly possible to transfer names on a mortgage. Happens for all sorts of reasons, the most common of which being divorce or separation, where you want to take someone off the mortgage, or then adding someone to the mortgage if you're moving together and you want to share the ownership. Whatever it is that you're doing, there's a few key things you need to bear in mind. The first one is it's not just as simple as changing the ownership of the deed to the property legally. Whoever has a charge or an interest in the property, usually a lender, they're going to want to assess whoever is now going to be going forward on the ownership of the property and that that's acceptable to them. They'll be checking things like credit history, so the person who's still on the mortgage and has always been there, has anything changed for them? And then anyone who's joining, what's their credit history like? They'll look at late payments, defaults, CCJs, bankruptcies, everything that's available on a credit reference. They'll also check for affordability. So the person leaving the mortgage now to somebody who's on their own, can they afford the mortgage in their own income? Equally, anyone joining now, can the two of you going forward afford the mortgage? And that'll be a full reassessment as if you were making a brand new application. So they'll look at your pay slips, they'll want to see bank statements and everything else. Whatever the scenario, it's important to remember that there's loads of lenders out there. So just because if the lender that you're with now says no, doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means you may need to go somewhere else. Third thing to keep in mind is stamp duty. So it won't be applicable to everybody. HMRC have got loads of guidance online about this. We've got a link to the website on our page as well, so you can have a look at that. Equally, if you want to speak to a specialist about it, one of the guys that we've got, we'll put you in touch with, will be able to work that out for you. But generally, if you're divorcing, you don't tend to need to pay it. If it's court ordered, similarly, you wouldn't need to pay. If you're adding someone to the mortgage, though, they might need to pay it. It depends whether what they're getting a consideration for that property ownership is deemed as over the threshold. So, for instance, let's say the mortgage is £400,000. Someone joining the mortgage and sharing that would essentially be giving consideration of £200,000. If that's over the threshold, that person then will pay stamp duty based on that £200,000. As I say, you need to find out specific to you and your scenario before doing anything. So speak to one of the experts. And also, there's the fourth thing to think about is if you're looking to borrow additional money. So affordability is obviously key here, but it is possible to do. If you've got the equity in your property, then at the point you do the transfer, you could potentially, either with a current lender, add some more on, or bring a second lender in to add a second charge over that property. That may cover stamp duty costs, it may cover buying someone out of the property and everything else, but it is possible. Of course, whatever you're looking to do, it's really important you get the right advice. The best way to do that is make an inquiry and speak to one of the experts, and we'll put you in touch with somebody who does it every day.